All right, I will now go into the detail of computer software. All right, computer software, accounting software. All right, I'll go into detail of accounting software. All right, bear with me over here. I have an example of a COA. What is the COA? Yeah? Chart of account, yes. Give your friend a clap, right? Your friend knows. Give your friend a clap. COA stands for chart of account. Okay, go back to this one manual part. All right, manual thing over here, the boring part. All right, and then look at this one over here. When you do manual recording, have you ever imagined, all right, how you recognize the account? How do you recognize your account in the manual recording? Remember or not? When you do manual recording, you will write the journal name, right? The account names. Account name maybe when you purchase a motor vehicle, you will debit the motor vehicle, credit the, maybe if it's using cash or bank, then or maybe loan, right? Or loan, right? We say loan. Is it logicable? Loan, credit loan as the liability, right? Debit the asset, credit the loan liability. Betul? Am I right? This is what you do, right? When you want to purchase a vehicle, all right? I'm just giving you an example. You will record debit the motor vehicle and then credit the loan. Is it okay? So what happened over here is, what I'm pointing out over here is like this. Imagine you have like 30 accounts, all right? You have like 30 accounts in the manual. In manual, all right, you are actually doing this bookkeeping work, and then you have 30 accounts written inside this journal book, and then you're going to transfer, you're going to post all of them to the ledger, right? What is the problem? What is the problem that you will face in manual? Record wrongly, lost track of. You lost track of your. Very simple. I give you an illustration. Okay, you have, let's say, created an account for motor vehicle, and then motor vehicle A, for example. Then you have another motor vehicle coming in. Another motor vehicle coming in, maybe up to number 5 already. But number 6 now you forgot, and then you put number 5 again. What happened? You will overlap, right? What I want to highlight over here is you cannot keep track of your account, right? Because everything is manually written, and then there's too many lists. There's too many accounts. So what you do is, in manual, I'm just pointing to you the core understanding. In manual, what you do is, you will first create a list of account. You will first create a list of account, all right, in front of your book. You know, you're doing manual accounting. There's the book, right, journal book. There's the ledger book. In front of the first page, you will have a list of accounts. Does that make sense? Right. So in this list of accounts, you will carefully write the account with the account code. Do you know that or not? You know that, huh? Some of you might know, some of you might not know. But in reality, those days when you want to do account, there is a list of accounts with the code, so that when you want to come to that account, you have a record. You know what account to post to, what account to record to. Because in reality, there might be like a lot of transactions, and you might lose track of it. So the same way in the manual, you have a list. In the computerized accounting software, you will also have a list of accounts. Does that make sense? You got this list over here. The list, we call it the chart of accounts. Yes. All right, chart of accounts. All right, you will have a list of accounts telling you what is it inside here. Mostly, you will find the code. You will find yourself a name, the name of the account, and then you will find yourself the type, and then the natural balance, right? The natural balance. Call it natural balance. What is it? What do you call it? Natural balance. What's that term? Natural balance, right? Natural balance. I forgot the term. Like debit, you will have a natural balance of debit. Asset, you will have a natural balance of debit, right? So when everything is credit, is deducting the asset. All right. This is very important, super important for you to learn about computerized accounting. You must really know what is a chart of account, what is this purpose of this chart of account, what are the items inside this chart of account. And the one that I give you over here, this 4 thing, is just the basic one. All right. First thing of all is the code. Then you got the name, type, and the balance. Okay. This list of account over here is more complicated than what you think it is. All right. Why is it more complicated than what you think it is? There's more to this. All right. There's more to this chart of account over here. Number 1. All right. If you notice over here the code over here, it is always in sequence, and then there is this level over here. Let me just put in. That's the level. All right. In the code over here, there's the level of code. One is the parent, one is the child. What is parent, what is child? This is the interesting part. All right. What is parent, what is child in the code? The list of this code itself, is very important. Why am I telling you this? Because if you go later on the assignment and you go later on doing the system, you will either ignore this or you just follow what it is. Right? You either ignore this or you follow what it is. Or right, you just ignore this in reality. But itself is very important. All right, you must really grasp on this. So usually there's a parents and the children on this chart of account thing. What does it mean? What does it mean? So basically, over here, this is an example that I come up with. My example is wrong already. Let me just correct the example. Okay, something like this, okay? So, if you can see this one, all right, the code over here, right, this thing over here, it depends on the software developer. The software developer can have their own serial, but the logic is the same. The logic is the same. First is, if this account, for example, building, right? If you have multiple buildings, one building, then you will just stay with like this, all right? There's no child. But if you have multiple buildings, there must be a child for this building main account. So create a child building for this main building account. How you do it? You're going to have this same code, but over here 001. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So maybe over here you put building A. Can you see that? Let me just. I cannot. Let me just. Okay. So we have 1000 again, then 002, then you got building B. Does this make sense to you?
Yes.
And in certain software, they will show it very clearly that this is under this one. So what they do is, they will have this slightly over here, all right? You just okay, all right. It will be slightly indent to the left, all right, so that you know that this is the parent, this is the children. Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
This is very important, all right, because in the future you might not be using AutoCount. You might be using other software, and the logic follows the same, all right, follow the same. There might be the main parent account, and then there's the child account, and the interface might shows you like this, all right, and so on, all right, so on and so forth. But that's not the end of this code, all right. We are now talking about the code, right? The another beautiful thing about this thing is, let's put this back over here, is the list over here itself, all right. You will have maybe all the 1000s over here, all right, is the, okay, maybe over here we can put in the stack of all the 1 is the A set, okay, can you see that? All the 1 is the A set, and then when we come to number 2, 2000, there's 000, 0. This one we will talk about the liability. Okay, again, this is very important, all right? This is how you systematically list your chart of account. Then there might be 3000 for the equity, 4000 maybe for the income, 5000 for the expenses, okay? And this is just example, right? Later when you open up the accounting system tutorial, right, the lab time, right, the lab time, the first thing we'll do is we will set up the company. We need to set up the company information, blah, 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 whatever, the reporting period, the financial period. Then the next thing you will do, you will straight away come to this one, child account. And you need to create the child account. You need to understand this logic of the sequencing, all right? So what happens if you create, let's say, a set under here? If you create a set under here, then you will mess up the chart of account, and you mess up the system. All right. When they recognize over here expenses, the information will be posted to the financial, the comprehensive income, right? You go to comprehensive income and it will cause a lot of error. Go back to you again on the database, all right? Remember when you learn database, you create database, right? And you create the customer name with the customer ID, remember? So this is the primary key, all right? This code over here is the key when you want to create an account, when you want to record the transactions. You will just hit this code over here. The system will hit this code and automatically post accordingly. And once they detect this ID, when you generate the report, it will pull out the information and it will be under certain sequence. If you remember them, right? That's why you need the 180 to come to 281. Supposedly, right? But if you forgot all of those things, it's also fine, all right? It's also fine. You're just missing the main thing about this logic, all right? It's very interesting. It's very interesting once you look at the whole picture about this. Okay, we have the list over here. So what happens is usually in accounting software, you will be given a template. You know what's a template? Let me just write over here template. Template. Say assignment, you say got template, assignment answer not, right? So in the accounting software, they have template already. Template of what? Template of this chart of account. So before you can use the software for your business or for anything, there's already a template of chart of account inside the system. So what you do is usually you will update this chart of account, all right? You update this list of this chart of account to fit with your business, all right? To fit with your business. So certain account you might want to delete, certain account you might want to update the account name. All right, certain account when you create, you might want to create as the child. Certain account you create, you might want to create it under certain circumstances. What interestingly about this is that when there is more than one feature, when there's more than one feature, it means that, let's say, cash at bank, all right? Cash at bank, what you will do with cash at bank? You will do a bank reconciliation, right? So these are the accounts that will have more than one functions, not only just reporting. What you will do is there is a special way to create it. We call this the special account. And in the computer logic, all right, in the accounting, the software logic, when you want to create this special account, for example, accounts receivable. Why is accounts receivable? It's special account because you will have aging for the account receivable. What is aging? You come to the order to cash cycle. I will tell you the types of documents that you will see during that time. But what I want to highlight over here is that if it's more than one function, then it will fall under special account. And in a special account, will have you to consider more than one thing when you create the account. So you need to bear in mind, number one, the sequence. Number two, this one, parent and child. And then number three is whether it is a special account or not, right? cannot be stuck. How do you create it? There's special steps lah. Basically, you cannot simply create it. There must be like certain things you need to consider when creating this kind of accounts. What I'm trying to tell you here is that this is what you will expect to see. This is the theory part. Later in the lab, you will apply it. Okay? Later in the lab, when you use the system, you will know what I'm trying to tell you. Alright? Now, what is in your mind, what is supposed to be in your mind is that there's this list of chart of account that will be the body or the bone, right? The backbone of your accounting software. Is it okay?
Okay.
And also, finally, over here, there's a few more things you need to do is configuration, all right? You need to do configuration on the system, which is on the COA, and then you'll be configuring on the customer/supplier. Remember the one that you create the customer name, all those things, right? For your order. Remember you create last time? So you also do the same thing over here. Just accept that you don't have to create the system now, right? The system is already there, and you are the user now. You are using the system to create the list of the customer, so that later when you record their purchase or their sales, you can just use this list over here that you have already created. Does that make sense? Also, there's a list of items and so on, right? Depending on the software. But the logic is that what I want to highlight to you goes back over here, how you see computerized manual, we are now computerized it. And if you still remember the database logic, it helps you to understand further why is it like this rather than following the steps of clicking. Alright? If you can understand it, then you appreciate the system. If not, then you will be just clicking text or just click on the software, that's it. Right? That's it, pretty much. That's the first chapter. See you all again in the